Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 34 of 90. I am super excited that we are getting into our second month of doing this project. I think that is super exciting. Today we did 1,000 words, which isn't the best, but we have done uh, a super sprint in the past couple of days, so it's understandable. As long as it's not reaching into like the low hundreds, like 500 or 400, we're still making good progress. Um, there is a few chapters in draft 2. I'm talking like 10. There's 10 draft chapters in draft 2 that we still have to get done, which isn't a lot, but it's still a decent amount, especially in the time that we have, because we are just now getting through the second draft, and I'm probably gonna have to add more of a beeline, which will go through the first draft and second draft stages, and then we can move on to editing it all up. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that manages to get through, and if I can cleanly fit the B draft into cleanly fit in the first draft into the second draft without having to go back and edit the second draft. I probably will have to go back and edit the second draft just because it is just one of those things where you can't really Frankenstein it in super easy without making it look meshed up. So to make it look as clean as possible, I'm probably gonna have to go through and change a few things in the second draft just to make it look like the B plot actually belongs there and wasn't a second thought, even though clearly in these audio diaries you're going to see something different. Today I wanted to talk about one of my side projects again, Angel's Revenge, and this time instead of being just a little novelette or short story, it is going to be a full-length novel. So it has 43 chapters so far, and I've done about 18 of them in draft 1. It started out as a 15,000 words in 14 days kind of thing, so I have about 20,000 words done in both the draft 2 and editing phase. So I've kind of split them up into 3 acts, where the first act is totally done and ready to go, which I should probably put out just as something, but then there is also Act 2, which I am currently writing. I've only gotten 3 chapters into Act 2 because I've had to stop a little bit to focus on my guardian demon. But then we have Act 3, which we'll see how much I have to include with that. I'm not terribly excited to write that, but to make it a fully fleshed out novel, I'll probably have to write all of it. And it comes with this sort of like, it's kind of making me question like what my writing style is and where this is going to fit in, and how much fiction do I want to lean into when writing this, because normally I write fiction and then add a bit of non-fiction in there, just to make it more interesting. But there's always something to ground into reality with all of this, and I've never really once done an entire book in pure fiction before. There's always like a major part of reality that's put in there, and there's a bit of research that goes into each book. But I really think with this one, I'm going to have to lean into fiction a lot more than I normally do, because it's a very sensitive topic. It has to deal with the main character being a child bride and then going through the court systems and trying to get answers and reconciliation and maybe some criminal time faced for those who put her in that situation. And just seeing how real life deals with these kind of people, it's very sad how much of this book is going to be fictitious, because I really like when things have a happy ending. I'm always going to end my book with a happy ending, because that's personally what I like to read. The world is scary enough that I don't need to be haunted over what I just read. So I always want it to lift my spirits, even if it has to break a few bones on the way there. But unfortunately, just the way that our court systems work now, there will probably be a lot of fiction to make this a story with a happy ending. But that's kind of what it's about. It was the Billionaires Ink It challenge that I wrote it for, and it kind of like coincided with both that and the 15K in 14 days challenge. So there's that. Anyway, you can find the first act of this on my Inkit profile. I'll probably link that down below in the description if you want to check that out and read some of the work that I have that is fully polished, especially what I'm currently working on. I will also probably publish a chapter, probably the first chapter of My Guardian Demon in that as well, because I keep talking about it and I really want to show it, but the problem is there's so much polishing that these still have to go through, especially like it still has to go through the editing phase. It has not even been spell checked yet in any sort. So we'll see. As soon as I enter the editing phase, I'm gonna try and get out at least one chapter for people to start reading. And I'm really hoping those who have been following along with this series enjoy what they're reading. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. Catch you all on the flip side.